Good morning, friends. The name is Mutlatsi Sibego. It's been a while since I last spoke to you. If you are watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, press the subscribe button at the bottom, and then also do a like if possible, and then make some comments on where we can improve, so that we can stay longer on this channel. I'm coming to you live from the headquarters of the clan that I belong to in my father's house in Hluhluwe, KwaZulu-Natal. I'm actually recording this right from the bedroom of my daughters, who now have grown and have now, what's the right word, got promoted by life and age now to no longer belong to this bedroom where they shared. Now, let's get to the recording for today. Today, I felt impressed to share with you what I would call possibly one of the blessings of the lockdown in this COVID-19 season. One of the blessings of the lockdown is that the lockdown has taught us something very powerful and wonderful. But before I get into it, I want to just pick a text from the book of Ephesians, Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 1. The book of Ephesians is written by Paul, and when he wrote it, he was a prisoner in Rome. And so he writes to the church in Ephesus, and he says that he pleads with them in verse 1 to be united, to bear with one another. But he teaches far more than just the respect of another human being, but he talks about the respect of everything, to be gentle and to be bearing for one another with love. He goes on to say at the end that the God we serve is a God of everything, who sits above everything. He is a God of all, in all, through all, for all. In other words, the God that we serve is a God of everything. And for a long time now, I've been reading this text and understanding it to be applicable to the church, where Paul is saying that as a people we ought to be loving to one another as brethren, sisters and brothers in the church. We've got, as the body of Christ, we've got to love one another. It's very applicable successfully. But this morning when I read it, it became much more enlightening in my mind and in my head, because as I read it, I then looked at in a family setup where, particularly African families, where we have very huge families and extended family members. In true, authentic African families, you've got families that are actually where the husband has more than one wife, say 2 or 3 or even more, and the children therefore become quite many, and the number of people is a lot. Particularly in polygamous environments, it is important to understand that there's always, from time to time, conflicts to be managed. And so it becomes very critical that from time to time people understand the importance of one another to each other. Now, if you're going to begin it at that stage, you're already too late. I believe that when God created all things, that all things begin with all things. So start with nature, places you walk in. Be very careful what you walk on. There are things you can't avoid stepping on, things like ants and so forth. But if you are aware, you are able to avoid, so that you are able to spare the life of an ant, or at least 2 or 3 ants, the life of a spider, the life of a certain insect. If possible, you avoid, as boys growing up, playing the game of killing birds, because initially you would think that you're going to kill it so that you can then cook it and eat it. But I remember growing up as a boy, we actually would kill them for fun. The goal and the kick was in the fact that you were able to score the stone right on the bird and killed it and you would get a kick from that, and all the boys that are with you would applaud you because you can score, you can aim and do it right. And that is wasteful, and that is actually bad. It's actually something to condemn because you've killed for nothing. The life of that bird is gone because you were having fun. And so the text therefore says, the God who is of all, in all and through all, is the God then who wants us to accommodate all that he has created. That bird was created by God. You can take that bird to a vet, but you cannot create a bird. In fact, you can't even give birth to a bird. That is basically how wasteful it is to just kill for fun. Some who are rich, who have the money, who can afford, take their boats and their ship and they go sailing in the sea, and they are involved in the sport of fishing, not for commercial purposes, for fun. They are able to catch a fish and then they return it back to the water. In the process of catching it, others hurt it, unfortunately, because of the nature of the sport. Sometimes the fish dies in the process. They don't care about the death of that fish. They only care about the fact that they caught it. When they come back to tell the story, the kick will be about how they actually caught it when others couldn't catch it. So it's a competition, and the success in a competition, but of killing nature when God created it so that all of us can benefit from it, so that it can benefit from us. In other words, the God who made the stars, the moon, and the sun is the God who made the clouds, the rain and the sea, the rivers and the valleys and the brooks. He's the same God who made the trees, the forests, the fruits and the seeds and the roots of those trees that hold them to stand still and tall. He's the same God who made a man and a woman, who makes a baby from them, who makes families, who makes societies, who make the whole community of nations, the populations of people, up to the billions that we have in this world. He is the same God who made the chickens, the dog, the cow, and the goat. The same God who made the snake, the lion, and the bear. He is the same God who made the wind that blows, the flowers that blossom. He is the God who created all things. Paul is saying, in dealing with all of nature, do not find yourself to be too important, way above a tree, or way above a fish, or way above an ant, or way above a dog, or way above a chicken, even a cockroach, or a roach, as they call it in the US. Do not find yourself to be too important, too powerful, too exalted above all things. For someday you shall be humbled to death, and when buried under the ground, worms will come, and they will be exalted above you, while you are below them, for they will consume you and live off you. And after consuming you, they will release you through excretion, and you'll form part of the dung and the dust that will then feed the trees that you once cut with your axe, that will then carry the birds that you once were able to shoot at with your gun or with your slingshot. The birds that will sing and the other animals will listen to them, the animals you once shot at when you were hunting. In other words, be gentle and be patient when dealing with all that God has created. When you do that with nature, you get a good natural training that will help you in your marriage, that will help you in your family setup in dealing with your siblings, that will help you in society, in politics, when dealing with other human beings, that will help you in dealing with your own children. This is an advice that comes directly from the writings of Paul, the wisdom so deep and so wide that if you are able to tap from it, it shall make you a very successful people. And the COVID-19 causes us to quarantine to a certain extent those who have lost their jobs, and those who do not need to go out there have to stay in one place, and where they stay in one space, they've got to coexist with others in a way that accommodates. Now, it is not just human beings. Remember, it is also all of nature. For everything is everything. And everything is you, and you are everything that you see. Everything you hear and see and smell is you, and you are part of it. All of these things are one together with you. For the God we serve, who created all things, is one. May God bless you, my friends. We shall talk again some other time. Please remember, like, put on your comment, and remember also to press the bell there and subscribe. Let us talk again some other time. God bless you. Bye-bye.